Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Soul State Inc. My name is Beth, and today I thought I would bring to you a hopefully quick wrap up or update, I guess, on the first 10 days of May since I'm participating in two readathons right now. I wanted to kind of show you what I've been reading. So, the first readathon started on May 1st and goes through the entirety of the month of May, and that is Middle Grade May Reads, where you read as many middle grade books as you can or want to during the month of May. The second readathon started on the 2nd of May and goes through to Tuesday the 16th, and that is the Toil-and-Trouble-A-Thon. I am one of five hosts. So we've got Jordan Calvert at The Bookie Babe, we've got Jen at Batman Reads Books, myself, and then Meg and Sue from the restricted section. And they are all lovely women. I'm so glad that BookTube connected us all and that we're getting to do this together. I love chatting with them. They're just, all of them are fabulous. You should check them out. I'm going to link my TBR announcement video, and all of their channels are down in the little doodly doo thing on that one. So please definitely go find them and check them out if you have not as of yet. But anyway, that one we had five um, challenges. I don't know why I can't think of words today, guys. I'm sorry. We have five challenges for that, and I have completed all but the movie watching challenge because I'm terrible and have been Netflix binging on shows instead of watching my movies. But that's all right. I'm just going to go on and tell you about everything I've been reading. So, first, we've got The Man Who Was Poe. This was by Avi. It is a middle grade book. It has no magic or witches. It is a little creepy, almost a thriller esque book for middle grade students. Printed in the late 80s. I gave it about a 3 stars. It was good, but not the best. But it got me into middle grade May. I finished this in about a day and a half. So that was the first book I read. Next, I picked up The Magician's Nephew and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, both rereads, both still amazing. This one gets a 4.5, and this gets a solid 5 stars. Since they were rereads, I found that I read them very quickly. So I probably wound up skimming more than I think I did, but they're still amazing and beautiful. And I know that I will be rereading again sometime soon. Next, I picked up the Brothers Grimm. I've got 101 Fairy Tales by the Brothers Grimm. I love these word cloud editions, guys. I know every time I show you what I'm reading and it's one of those, I go off about it, but I just absolutely love these things. And I read several of the fairy tales in here, but the one specifically for TATAT was Little Brother, Little Sister, which was creepy and one I'd never read before, and I absolutely loved it. Right. I also read The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. This is the great illustrated children's edition, which is a slightly condensed version of the book and has really cool pen and ink drawings in there. I read this to my daughter, so we read a chapter or two at bedtime every night for about a week and just finished it a couple of days ago. She loved it, and I loved getting back into it. And even though this is the children's illustrated edition, it is actually rated for um, ages 8 to 12, which is kind of middle grade. Like younger kids can read it, but reading on your own, it's rated for 8 to 12. And anything below 8 is considered straight children's chapter books, and above 8 can be considered middle grade. So I get to count this for both as well. That's pretty much everything I've read so far can be counted for both. I did complete a book called Wickedpedia, which wound up not being what I thought it was going to be. So it was creepy and it was short. I read it really quickly, but it was a YA book that didn't have any magic. So that one doesn't count at all, which makes me sad, but whatever. I also completed Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by Newt Scamander and J.K. Rowling. Um, it was great. I had never read that one before, so it was really fun to look through and see all of the different kinds of Fantastic Beasts. And my favorite, I think, is probably the Glumbumble. The Glumbum is a tiny gray furry insect that secretes um, it secretes a treacle-like substance that has melancholic effects. So if you eat the treacle that this insect secretes, it makes you sad. And it has been known to take over beehives, and it makes the honey taste beautiful and also makes the people who eat it sad. And I don't know why the glum bum is my favorite. Probably because his name is Glum Bum. I've also read 365 Days of Wonder by R.J. Palacio. Now, I have Wonder and Augie and me, and we'll be getting the picture book We Are All Wonders and be doing a week of Wonder after Toil-and-Trouble-A-Thon is completed. So, next week, the end of the week, I'll do a week of Wonder where I read all the R.J. Palacio books in that series. But this one, I started to flip through and wound up reading it completely because it is a book of precepts, which are quotes to live by. So, this is how it's set up. Um, in months. And then he's got like a little article at the beginning of each month. And the whole thing has different um, quotes. So this one says, "A bit of fragrance clings to the hand that gives flowers." That's a Chinese proverb. Um, Theodore Roosevelt said, "Believe you can and you're halfway there." Christopher Morley said, "Big shots are only little shots who keep shooting." So these are just great. J.R.R. Tolkien, even the smallest person can change the course of the future. And they are set up in different ways, different colors. And the book itself has the yellow sprayed pages. It's just beautifully put together and a great book. I love quotes, and if you love quotes, you should definitely check that out. I think I am going to keep it and not take it back to the library yet, so that when I do the Week of Wonder next week, I can talk to you guys about all of the books and not have that one left out. But I did complete it. I also read The Tales of Beetle the Bard. I took Fantastic Beasts and Beetle the Bard back to the library this afternoon because I didn't think about showing them to you. But you guys have probably all seen some version of them. The Tales of Beetle the Bard was actually a reread for me, but it was the new edition, so I really enjoyed the way it's set up. Excuse me, it's really storming outside and it's made my cough all really. Anyway, I really enjoyed how it was set up. Supposedly, it was translated in a new translation by Hermione Granger, and there are notes from Albus Dumbledore in front or behind of each story, and then footnotes by J.K. Rowling. It's just fun. I love the stories, and Babbity Rabbity is probably my favorite, honestly. All right, so on to what I'm currently reading. Currently, I am trying to work on Wicked by Gregory Maguire. This is the life and times of the Wicked Witch of the West, Elphaba. I adore the musical. I love the songs from it. I've watched the musical bits and pieces on YouTube. Love it. Cannot get into this book. I'm on page 47. I've been working on it for over a week. I don't know what's going on. It's not the writing style. The writing style is fine. The story flows really well. I like it. I don't feel the need to pick it up. So I may go ahead and drop it for now, but I really don't want to do that either. So I'm going to try to give it until 100 pages. If I get to 100 pages and I still don't feel like picking it up, then I'm just going to put it back on my TBR shelf. I am also currently working on The Wicked, Wicked Ladies in the Haunted House by Mary Chase. This has a leprechaun and seven just mean spirited, narcissistic women that disappeared from their home about 150 years ago. And now there's this mean spirited little 9-year old who has gone into the haunted house and somehow discovered that these women are still there in the form of pigeons part of the time and in the form of their actual selves the rest of the time. And she also discovered the leprechaun. So it's very interesting and it's a quick read. I'm looking forward to finishing it off. I'm slightly less than halfway through it. I started it last night. So that is definitely a middle grade read that is fun and works for both readathons. Speaking of working for both readathons, I also picked up Furthermore by Tahira Mafi and The Lie Tree by Frances Harding. So I'm going to be checking both of these out in the remaining week of Toil-and-Trouble-A-Thon and seeing what I think about them. Both of them have had kind of polarizing effects on other booktubers, so I'm looking forward to see what I think of them. And that's all I've got for you. I think I've got you caught up so far. I've read, I think, 9 books so far, maybe 8 or 9 books anyway, which is really amazing considering the fact that we're only 10 days into May and most of those were pretty decent sized books. It's not like I'm reading 50-page books. They were all about 200 pages or more. So I'm pretty proud of myself for all the reading I'm doing. Of course, I like to read, so that's no big deal. And now I'm prattling on like nonsense. So I'm going to let you guys go, and I will talk to you again very soon. Until next time, I hope that you read something good and write something even better. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I mentioned today down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts.